Hello, my sweet friend. It's Christina, and welcome to a new episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. My name is Cristina Revalo. I'm a sugar paste modeling artist, a teacher, a coach for cake artists, Cake Friends Day creative community manager, award-winning cake decorator, and representative of international cake competitions. I'm so happy to have you here. If you are a cake artist, a cake enthusiast, or a baker who is seeking some help in anything related to your time management, social media management, setting your goals for yourself or your business, your mindset towards your business, or even a few hints of how to be part of the international cake community, cake collaboration, and cake competitions, you are in the right place. So welcome to today's episode. Well, hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here. I'm so happy to have you all back here today. It's another Tuesday. It's another day for another new episode here on the Art Cake Coach podcast. And the month of July is practically gone. I cannot believe it went so fast. The middle of the year. It's over, so we're starting the second half of 2023. And as you know, I wanted to dedicate the month of July to mindset. And we've been talking a lot about mindset. Last week we had a beautiful interview with Enrique Rojas that even though we didn't address like directly the topic of mindset, the way he spoke of how he believed in his talent and how he believes in his business and how he faces every challenge that he has in his way really made us think that part of the success that one can have or not has to do with our own mind, how we think, how we believe, how we think about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves. So I could not finish the month of July without talking again, because we already have an episode here about imposter syndrome, but today I'm going to expand a little bit more, and I want to go from limiting beliefs to imposter syndrome and how that affects your creativity as a cake artist. So today's episode is called Overcoming Limiting Beliefs and Imposter Syndrome in the Cake Artistry. My God, my tongue is getting all twisted today. So stay tuned, stay with me. I hope you like this episode. I hope again it can be useful for you. And let's see what I have here for you today. But before, as always, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the news and a few shout outs to beautiful people who gave me their feedback last week. So today's news, there's not actually many news to share with you today. As you all know, I live in Lisbon, Portugal. Here in Europe, summer is kind of a low season. People are just ready to go and enjoy the month of August and enjoy their summer. People who works with wedding cakes and special occasion cakes are probably with work and have a lot to do. So in the news, there's not much coming up, but a lot. It's being prepared for the last trimester of the year. So stay tuned here, not only in the podcast, stay tuned to all the communities, Cake Friends Day Creative, the Art Cake Coach, because I am preparing a lot of fun stuff for everyone. A lot of information weekly on many things that can help you in your cake business and in your cake journey or your journey as a cake artist, from prioritizing your work, time management, goal setting, teaching. I mean, each week is going to be something different. So if you're not part of the cake, of my cake communities, Cake Friends Day Creative or the Art Cake Coach, I'm like mixing all the communities here. Please join, please be part of this big family, and I'm leaving all the links here in the episode as always, so you can join and you can be part of my cake family and my cake communities, our cake communities. I don't like to talk about mine because it's not mine, it's everyone's, it's our cake community. And today I have a special shout out that I'm sorry it took me so long, dear, to give you a shout out because this person, this amazing cake artist, she's always there every week. She has a comment on the post that I put on the podcast. When I post about the podcast on my Instagram, she always has a comment. And the last week with the episode with Enrique Rojas, I mean, she was like, I need to listen to this one. I mean, you are such a sweetheart. You're always posting, you're always saying nice things about the podcast, and I never gave you a shout out. So this is for you today. This is for Lisa Tuhi, and I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, cake artist. She is an award-winning cake artist in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the United States. Thank you so much for listening to the episodes. Thank you so much for your support. You can find her on Instagram as Cake Expressions by Lisa. And like I said, she's always so nice. Last week, she's like, I can't wait to listen to this one. She's always listening. She's always giving me feedback. I think I have a few more here that she's always leaving me comments and telling me how much she likes the episode or how much she enjoyed it. I mean, it's really nice to hear your feedback. It's really nice to have to put a face in the amazing people that is listening in the other side of this microphone. So Lisa, this is for you today. Thank you so much for being part of the family of the Art Cake Coach podcast. And thank you for listening. And I really hope that you keep with us and you keep. I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications right now for on my phone. But thank you so much, Lisa, for your feedback, and thank you so much for listening. I'm going to actually give Lisa a small surprise, and her Instagram link is going to be linked in today's episode just for you, Lisa. Thank you so much. So that is for the news and the shout outs today. Now, what about if we start with this episode? Like I said, today is all about limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. Even though I did an episode on imposter syndrome last year, a lot has been going on. I've learned more. I've practiced more. I've seen more of your your struggles, and you talk to me and you mention how you feel about this, because believe me or not, imposter syndrome is something that everyone suffer from, especially in the creative world. I mentioned this in the other episode, but today I want to go a little bit deeper and also talk about limiting beliefs, because at the end of the day, and actually today's quote on my Instagram account, the RK Coach, it's about that, and I'm going to share it with you. The only limit to your success is your own imagination and belief of yourself. So sometimes even you can say no because the world is against me. Sometimes is you. Sometimes we are against ourselves. Sometimes it's not even on purpose. It's something like it's like a common behavior that we have, but it's not on purpose, but it's there. And it's good for us to realize that, to see what's going on, and to try to change it. So that's what this episode is about today. Stay tuned and listen to today's episode. So today's episode is called Overcoming Limiting Beliefs and Imposter Syndrome in Cake Artistry, in the cake world. But I want to clarify something. This is not only happening, and you probably have heard a lot lately about imposter syndrome. I came across this term, I will say, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. Before that, I just thought like, I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like everybody knows what they're doing but me. Apparently, that's called imposter syndrome. So let's start first by understanding what a limiting belief and what imposter syndrome is, and how can it affect us. And I'm going to be very practical. I'm not going to go all sciencey or give you a lot of concepts taken out of the internet. I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. So today's purpose is actually to understand this and understand how that can impact our creativity as cake artists. And if I may, I will provide you some some tips, some strategies that I have used on myself to overcome it. So let's define first what is a limiting belief. When we believe in something, we believe, right? Let's say when we're kids, I think I still do believe in Santa Claus, right? And you don't question it. It's something that for you, it's there. The tooth fairy, you mentioned it. We all have beliefs in something. I'm not going to get religious here, but we all believe in something, even if it is in ourselves. But we believe in something, right? Some people believe in not believing, but it's a belief as well. That is something that is in our mind, is set in stone in our head. We don't question it. It's right there. What happens sometimes is that we have thoughts that are as hard as stone and are set in our minds that tell us that we are not good enough, that we don't know enough, that we are less than other people, that we are not creative enough. And that comes across in many, many careers, many professions, in every single level. Do not think that if you have a limiting belief or if you suffer from imposter syndrome, I don't like the word suffer from imposter syndrome, because when you say you suffer from something, it's something that is here to stay. It's a long run disease or illness. No, no, no. I don't like to say that. You don't suffer from imposter. You just happen to have sometimes that feeling of not being enough. But it's so set in you, and it's so like set in stone inside your mind, that you don't question it, and you actually feel bad. You feel that you're not good enough, and you miss out. I think the worst thing about limiting beliefs and about imposter syndrome is paralysis. You're paralyzed. You just don't do it. You do not risk. You do not put yourself out there, because what's the point? I'm not good enough. So you missed out a lot of opportunities, and we're going to talk about that in a second. There's some thoughts that can come into your head like, I'm not talented enough, I will never make it as a professional, I'm not creative, others are better than me, success is for others, my clients don't pay what I deserve, clients don't understand my worth or the worth of my cakes. All of those are limiting beliefs, because it's not only about yourself. You can excuse many things in your life using limiting beliefs. So let's try to see how this impacts negatively, not only in ourselves, but in the progress that we do as cake artists. This is what this episode is about. So imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome in the cake artistry world. What is imposter syndrome? It's a psychological pattern. Now I'm reading something that I found on the internet. It's a psychological pattern where anyone can doubt their accomplishment, skills, or abilities and be afraid of being exposed as a fraud. Despite of their competence and success, individuals experience imposter syndrome often dismiss their achievements as luck, timing, or result of deceiving others. They believe they don't deserve recognition or praise that makes them very uncomfortable, and attribute their accomplishment to external factors rather than their own capabilities. Does it sound familiar? Probably does. So let me break this down to you. You feel like a fraud. You are afraid. You doubt your skills and your knowledge. You don't think you're competent enough. So success is just a matter of luck, or because the rest of the world was worse than you. You feel that you don't feel comfortable when people praise your work. You think it could be a beginner's luck or a timing thing. You don't deserve recognition. Well, you don't deserve. No, you believe that you don't deserve the recognition, and it actually makes you very uncomfortable, like I mentioned before. So all of this could happen because you suffer. Again, I'm saying suffer, but I don't like to say suffer, because you happen to have that day a limiting belief that turns into imposter syndrome. That can be manifested in many, many aspects of your life, including your education, your work, your creativity, and of course, cake artistry. What is important is to note that imposter syndrome is not based on an objective reality, but more on a perception of this a perception that we have as individuals of our own ability. Okay, so let's just recap for a second. It's not objective. It's a distortion. It's a perception of your reality that is actually not objective. Because if we actually, this is one of the ways that I face imposter syndrome, or these limiting belief thoughts that come into my head when I have them, because we do have them. The thing is, and I was saying this to my kids last night, you're always going to get mad. You're always going to have limiting beliefs. You're always going to be, you're not always going to be happy, happy, joy, unicorns, and rainbows, right? The thing is how long you stay there. We struggle all of our lives. We think that we have to eradicate any bad feeling from our lives, and that imposter syndrome is never going to happen again. I'm not going to have imposter syndrome ever again, because I'm going to take the this particular course, or I'm going to read this particular book, and everything is going to be fine, and I'm never going to have any limiting beliefs anymore. No, you're probably going to have them again. The thing is how long you stay into the limiting beliefs, and you can switch that, you can change that very quickly just by facing facts. Because let's think about it. If it's a distorted perception of your abilities and is not objective, how do we face that? Being as objective that we can. The thing is, we tend not to be very objective with ourselves, but with others we do. So what do? We think that we're talking in third person to a different person in the mirror. So what I do is I just sit down, I look at myself in the mirror, or I sit down imagining that I'm having a conversation with myself, and I see everything that I have accomplished, as an outsider. Like, well, you did this and you did that and you achieved this all by yourself, and you learned this and you overcome this and you did, okay, not that bad. It's not that I'm perfect, but I'm not as bad as my limiting beliefs are telling me that I am. I think I mentioned it before. Sometimes when I'm looking on Instagram and social media can be difficult, because what happens is we tend to look at everybody else's perfect Instagram life, perfect Instagram cakes, flawless Instagram modeling paste artistry pieces, or flowers, or the reels make it look so simple. You can do a cake in 3 seconds, right? No, you cannot. There's a lot behind the scenes. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And when you realize there is so much going on behind the scenes and that is not real, like I was saying before, social media can be a trap, because it triggers those feelings that I'm not good enough. I'm never going to do things the way they are doing it. I'm never going to achieve that level of artistry. I'm never going to be good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not as creative. I don't have the knowledge they have. All of that can be triggered through social media. So what I was saying is, what I do is I stop scrolling on other people's social media, on the feed of social media, and I go back to my own page and I try to look at it with fresh eyes, like if I was a stranger looking at it. And it's like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. These cakes are actually good. Yeah, I've done this. I've come so far. I go to old posts from many years ago and new posts, and I see how much I have learn and how much my cakes have changed and everything that I do have changed, and I'm like, okay, it's good. And when I'm in that place of not paying attention to my limiting beliefs anymore and not feeling like a failure, I just stop looking at social media. So social media can be a trigger, and we see a lot of that. Competitions can be a trigger, collaborations can be a trigger, everything can be a trigger. You name it. But in this world, as much as I would like to change the cake world into, and that is my mission in this cake world, or international cake community. My mission is for everybody to have their own space, to own their own place, to be accepted regardless of their level of artistry, or regardless if they're famous or not, if you're starting, if you're a professional, if you are a home baker. There's a place for everyone, and you cannot compare yourself with somebody who started 20 years ago. If you just started, you cannot compare yourself with somebody's finishing line if you're in the starting line. And that's when limiting beliefs comes afloat. That's when limiting beliefs take charge of our mind, and that's when we stop. Because like I said at the beginning, the worst thing about imposter syndrome and about limiting beliefs is that you paralyze. And as a cake artist, if you do not seek opportunities, if you do not try to, I guess as anyone in anything aspect in your life, anything in the world, you have to push yourself. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to push yourself to a higher limit. You have to knock on the door. You have to network. You have to talk to that person. You have to, offer your work to that magazine. You have to put yourself out there, show your cakes, show your on your own social media. But you have to put yourself out there. And limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome stop us from doing that, and we miss out a lot of opportunities because of that. I like I said before, and if you have listened to this podcast, I've been in this business for 15 years, and I've been thriving for around 3 or 4 because I stopped my limiting beliefs. I stopped having imposter syndrome. I stopped thinking less about myself, comparing myself to others, and just focusing on me. And we're going to talk about that in today's episode as well. I am absolutely thrilled to announce a new sponsor of the RK Coach podcast. We are now working together with Cake the Great magazine. Cake the Great magazine is a quarterly international magazine, and it's an open platform for all levels of sugar artists around the world. We will showcase your talent, skills, update sugar, world news, and more. You can have the next issue, and you can already have the March issue of 2023 in the links that I will be leaving here in this episode, and stay tuned for the next issue to come. Thank you so much to my sweet dear friend Tasnuta Allen, award-winning cake decorator and editor of this magazine. And thank you to Cake the Great magazine for being one of the sponsors, and welcome to the family of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Now, what I want to do is actually to give you tools so you can overcome these limiting beliefs. But the first thing you need to do in order to overcome any feeling of not being good enough, those imposter syndrome feelings, and any limiting beliefs is to identify it. If you don't identify what you want to change, it's impossible to change it. So these are some of the, let's say, behaviors that are associated with imposter syndrome. You have a lot of self-doubt. You discount your achievements. It's like whatever you accomplish, you think it's just by chance, by luck, or because the rest of the world was worse than you. You fear a lot the fear of failure. I mean, you fear to fail. So you don't try it. You just don't do it because it's better not to. I'm an expert on this. I think if you have heard these episodes before, you know that I always said I'm a Virgo, a zodiac sign. It's not like I do believe. Actually, last night we had a conversation with my family about that. If you believe or not in signs, zodiac signs, and their characteristics are undeniable. And Virgos, we tend to go for the safe side. I mean, you don't risk if there is no necessity for risking. So I used to fear failure a lot. And until I realized that was part of this feeling of being not good enough and feeling as an imposter, I could not change it. Another way is overcoming and over preparing. Another way now, another symptom. You overwork so much and you over prepare so much that you don't actually do anything. I have a sweet friend, Sylvia. I mean, I miss you, Sylvia. I haven't talked to you in a long time, but she's amazing. And she always mentioned this paralysis by analysis. You over prepare, you overwork, and you overthink so much that you just don't do it. You compare yourself to other. You have difficulties accepting nice comments and a prize. Is like people say, "Oh, you look pretty." Well, yeah, but I no, I don't think so. Or oh no, it's just well, today I took a shower. It's like you always find an excuse. Or your cakes are amazing, but they could be better. Oh, you won an award. It's like, yeah, but it was by a chance. So you don't feel good when people compliment your work. And you have, and this is a tricky one, high standards. But listen to this, unrealistic high standards. So much that they end up to be an, again, paralysis by analysis, because you put standards so high. You don't participate in the competition unless you're going to win a gold medal. You don't go into the collaboration unless you know you're the best in it. You're not going to do a live demo in, for example, Cake Friends Say Creative or in any other group, because you don't have the best equipment to do it or the best program to do it. So you put your standards so high, they start to limit you. Unless we face and we realize how much this is happening in our life, we cannot change it. So the first thing to do in order to change, or to change those limiting beliefs and to get out of this imposter syndrome feeling, is to really identify what is happening, what is happening with me, what are the, let's say, the barriers that I'm putting on myself. What do I really believe about me and about my work as a cake artist? Where do I stand mentally in all of the things that are happening around me, and comparing with the rest of the cake community, and be absolutely, but absolutely honest with you. And then identify those feelings, if any of the ones that I just mentioned, and let's start working to change them. And I am so happy to introduce a new partner for the Art Cake Coach podcast. A big, big, big shout out to my sweet friend Maria Barna from Mayatina. If you don't know Mayatina, I'm going to tell you all about it. Mayatina is a flexible flour paste that is made in Austria by my sweet friend, entrepreneur, businesswoman, Angel Maria Barna. What happens? This paste is absolutely flexible, okay? And it's now available for dry, made humid, and high humidity environment. So you can choose which product to use depending on where you live. It can be stable, it can be versatile, and it's shatterproof because, and this is the great news, it remains flexible for months after it dries. It's available in different sizes and different colors. It's based on tapioca and rice flour, and it's vegan, halal, and GMO free. So, what's not to like about this paste? I have to be honest. You know that I don't do flowers, but I use Mayatina paste for dresses, for skirts, ruffles on all of my sugar paste modeling, bows, because it's absolutely flexible, it doesn't break, and it totally looks like fabric. So I recommend it 100%, and I urge you to go and check out this website with all the information about this very, very unique product that is now in the market. And it is a family business, is all made by this sweet lady that has all of these beautiful products available for us. So don't forget, go check out Mayatina's website, check out all of the amazing products they have, check out all of the amazing characteristics that you can choose from, and just say hello to Maria for me and tell her that I sent you, because she's amazing. So thank you so much, Mayatina. Thank you so much, Maria, for being part of the family of the Art Cake Coach podcast. So, knowing all of this, we know the limit or the impact that limiting beliefs put in ourselves. Everything that I work for in this podcast and as a coach for cake artists, everything that I talk about helping you is going to be stopped, is going to be blocked by limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. achieving your goals, managing your time properly, procrastinating, avoiding investing in yourself and in your business, undercharge for your cakes and for your work, not being active in cake communities and cake events, miss opportunities. Everything is related to imposter syndrome because at the end of the day is a self-sabotage mechanism. You are limiting yourselves as I mean, a limiting beliefs ultimately is going to only limit yourself. And of course, it's going to put a lot of stress in you and a lot of feelings that you don't want to relate with your business. Because what happened is, as we are humans and we learn and we train and we associate things, um, we associate putting ourselves out there with failure, with a bad thing, with something that is going to hurt us. And it's always going to be the same. So, how do we change that? Because, of course, being me, I'm not going to leave you all blue and gloomy on an episode, just telling you all of the issues that you could have. I have some ideas and some ideas that I have put in practice on myself and that have helped me overcome these limiting beliefs. And it's what I'm saying here, what I want to share with you is you don't need to have them all at the same time. It's not like you're going to have all of these feelings that I mentioned before at the same time. For me, the major one was the fear of failure. So I limit myself a lot and I made all these great excuses in my head and I explained to myself everything why I shouldn't risk because at the end of the day I was just afraid of failing. I tend to over prepare and overwork. I don't compare myself to others. That's something I don't do. I've never done because I'm too busy. I'm too busy being hard on myself, so I cannot be comparing myself to others. That's the thing. So we don't always have all of the feelings at the same time, but we can identify those ones that are making us stop. They are creating a barrier for us to put ourselves out there. So what do we do? First, like I mentioned before, you have to recognize and acknowledge those feelings. So if you want, pause me, rewind, go back and check on the list of feelings and emotions that I just shared with you and see which one you identify with. Then you can change your negative talk by challenge it. This is pay attention to this. You pay attention to whenever you're going to say something bad about yourself in your head, right? Like um, like let's say you created a cake and you think it's really good, but then when you put it out there on Instagram and you see other cakes, it's like, oh, everybody's better than you. Why do you think? I mean, why would you even posted that cake? Stop. Pay attention to that thought and start questioning the validity of your thought at that moment. It's like, stop, shut up. Is this true? Are you worse than everybody else? No, you're not. And then you change it for a positive affirmation. You are better than you were 2 years ago. You have gone so far. You have learned so much, and you praise that. Celebrate your success. That's another thing. Uh, if you're the person who's uncomfortable winning something or thinks that if you win something and if you um, I don't know, if somebody gives you an award, if you win an award, if somebody says something nice about yourself or recognize your work, you immediately think, these people is nuts. I must be, the best of the worst. And I don't know what they're talking about. You just say thank you, get away from social media and go get yourself a treat. Like, I don't know, go for a coffee, take yourself out, buy that pair of shoes, celebrate your success and start changing little by little, start changing that first thought because like I said before, the negative thoughts are going to come anyway, and you're going to have that self-doubt anyway, but you're going to spend less time on it because you're going to start relating that self-doubt to a reward. So you're going to celebrate every time something goes well instead of immediately going, oh, that's not, it was just luck, beginner's lucks. No, no, you just go and celebrate, like, yeah, and you put it out there. I always said that for me, and I'm going to confess this right here, right now. I don't care. For me, it was especially the first year of Cake Friends Stay Creative because I instantly became known by a lot of people, and people assume things about me that I didn't believe. People assumed that I was somehow famous, that I was somehow important in the cake world, that I was, I don't know, so like a figure that people would relate to. I don't know what people think of, but they put me in a pedestal somehow, and it's very easy to get lost and just go from not believing in yourself to, I'm the best of the best now, and everybody's like, I'm in the top, everybody's beneath me. It's very easy to go that way. And me being hard on myself, as I always am, I stopped myself, and I was really doubting. And I was like, every time people was like, for example, they will call me, a lot of people, especially from India, they refer to me as chef. I'm not a chef. And I will always tell them, like, I'm not a chef, because I have the utmost respect for chefs and pastry chefs, because they have studied years for that, and they have earned what they are. And I haven't done that. So I was not going to be compared to them. But anyway, I went too far with the story. I didn't believe in everything that people was saying, and I started doubting that I was a phony, that I was, taking credit for something that I was not. But people keep putting me in some kind of pedestal, and having me as a reference. I didn't like it, honestly, at the beginning. You get used to with the time, but you get used to because you make peace with it within yourself. I made peace with it within myself, saying, whatever they believe is what I believe. I believe in me. I believe that even though I'm not probably the person they think I am, I have put a lot of work to bring this community together. And that's what I'm good at. And that's my superpower. And at the beginning, it was fake it until you make it. I had to put a face like, yeah, I got this. I got this. But I didn't get it. At the beginning, it was hard for me. I did absolutely feel like a phony. I have to confess that sometimes I still do when people refers to me, or ask me like to be a judge in a competition. It's like, oh my God. It's like, no. And my mind immediately goes to everybody else that knows me. Might say, what is she doing judging this competition? But then I just stop and say, if life is offering you this opportunity, you're going to embrace it, even though if you have to fake that embracement, because it's not faking to be famous, it's faking the embracement of the situation. So you fake it until you make it, until you truly believe that you have this opportunity, that it was presented to you because somebody believes in you and somebody believes in your work. And you take it and you do the best that you can with this opportunity, humbly. So that worked for me. That worked for me. But it was hard. At the beginning, it was hard. So if you cannot embrace it fully, just fake the embracement until you get used to the idea that whatever puts you in that situation, either if you win that award, either if somebody praise your work, either if you are in a collaboration and your work is getting viral, whatever it is that you're succeeding, you don't believe in yourself, you fake that belief by thinking, I'm put in this situation for a reason. Life is showing me this for a reason. And if other people believe in me, why I cannot believe in myself? So, what did I do to get into this situation? I worked hard. I tried. I put myself out there. So, those are my accomplishments. So, it's like you switch the perspective of your success and make it more believable for you. It worked for me. But anyway, like I said, confession time. Another thing that you can do in order to overcome these limiting beliefs is set realistic goals and track your progress. When you set goals that, remember before, like too high standards, is like, it's going to be impossible. You're not going to make it. So you just limit yourself by putting, I'm not saying don't dream, dream big, But when you put yourself a task and a goal to achieve, if you put it too high and deep down, you know that you're not going to do it. You're not going to make it. Is actually a sabotage, is a limiting beliefs. But if you set realistic goals, and you track the progress of that goal, you feel like you accomplish. And when you feel that you accomplish, it's like building a muscle. uh, you build a muscle of confidence. You celebrate each milestone that you have achieved, and you get used to achieving. So when somebody comes and praise your work, or you're put into a situation that you're triggered with your limiting beliefs, you go back to that muscle that you build, and you're like, wait a minute, I have come a long way. I have set goals, I have achieved them. So it's not about the achievement, it's about relating the feeling of achieving. Sorry, my English is getting all crazy today. Let me repeat, it's not about the achievement per se, it's about relating whatever is happening to the feeling of achieving. And that's what you celebrate, the feeling of achieving, whatever it is. Practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's normal to have doubts. It's normal to, you know, to question everything that you do. That is good, actually. I think it's good because it keeps us grounded. Okay. But think that, talk to you as you would talk to you when you were, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. You're kind to a 5 year old. You're not mean to a 5 year old. So be kind to you. Um, Practice the self care that you deserve and the self compassion that you deserve. Nourish yourself, and take those times to be with you, to celebrate you as a person, not as a cake artist, because that is another thing. That's what we do, but that's not what we are. Even though we say I'm a cake artist, but that's what I do. I'm Christina, and I deserve my own kindness. So do that for you. And that will also build a muscle of feeling sure about yourself. And you will celebrate next time that you achieve something instead of going for the imposter syndrome feeling. As your K coach, I am here to help you. If you want to go a little bit further in your journey to organize your time, set clear goals, maybe teach, work on your mindset, or set a roadmap for results, especially for results and success, I am here for you. Why don't you book a free discovery call with me? I will be leaving the links here in this episode so we can chat, we can talk about what you really need, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. Remember, I have just one mission in this cake world. First is to unite the cake community as one, and to make you, my cake artist, my sweet friend, understand the importance of investing in you. Like I said, I will be leaving the links here in the description of this episode so you can book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me. And just remember, in case nobody said this to you today, I do appreciate you, and I want you to stay safe and stay creative. Reframe failure and rejection, and embrace it as a learning opportunity and as a growing opportunity. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to have bad days and fail and be rejected somehow. But when you see all of this as stepping stones in your path, as things that are happening for you and not to you, as Tony Robbins says, um, you start seeing it as opportunities to grow and to be resilient and to reframe your thinking. This is what I do. I those are the moments that I usually go down. I used to go down a lot. Rejection, and I think everybody, but for me that was it. Rejection, failing, problems, and until the day that I start seeing that as an opportunity. Like, if I'm failing, what can I do to do better? If I am making a mistake, what did I do to make that mistake, and how can I change it? If it's a rejection, that door is not for me, it's for somebody else. I mean, life is not linear, it's not the same for everyone. So that's just not for me. And I just close it and just keep going. But until I got to that point, I used to go down and get very, very blue and, back to the limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome thing all over again. So what I did was changing that into trying to change everything that was happening into a learning opportunity, into an opportunity for me to grow. And a key factor, and that's another one of the points that I want to share with you, is to seek support and connection. When you are in that moment, talk to your fellow cake artists, reach out to them. There are mentors in our community. There are so many people willing to support. I am here to support you because we understand and we can relate to the experience that you're having. If a customer is not treating you well, if you're not finding a way to do something, if you're afraid to participate in a cake competition, if you don't know how to do something, we are here to help. That is what Cake Friends was created in the beginning. Um, and its solid purpose is to be that um that family, that cake family for everyone. So share your feelings, talk about it, talk about doubts that you have, seek for that support and that guidance, and it will give you perspective. Definitely will give you perspective. Remember, I am here. I'm your cake coach. I am here to help you, and if you need any help, I cannot emphasize this enough, and you have all the links here in the episode. Just book a free discovery call with me. We can sit down, we can talk about your needs, I can talk about what I can do for you, and we can see if we can work together. And if not, I'll try to help you as much as I can, or even, refer you to somebody who could help you, because that's what I do. So embrace every opportunity, every down moment, every mistake, every failure, and every rejection as a growing opportunity, and look for support and connection from your peers. And finally, and I love this one, visualize success. Visualize a positive outcome, visualize yourself instead of visualizing yourself failing and being rejected. Do the opposite. Visualize yourself when those feelings come. You visualize yourself winning. You visualize yourself surrounded by people who support you, and making that cake, or doing that live, or talking to that person, or facing that client, whatever it is that you want to do. Just visualize it, but visualize it in a way that you can feel it, that you can smell it, that you can be there. It's like you're standing there. My mind goes wild. I'm a daydreamer 100% since I was a kid. I guess always thought that was a characteristic of being an only child, because you had to create your own fantasies in your head. You didn't have anybody to create your own fantasies with. And but that gave me, now I understand that gave me a very good background on visualization. And believe me, the moments that I have visualized things so clearly that I can see myself in it, they have come true. So visualize yourself having success. And again, remember, imposter syndrome is an ongoing process that requires a lot of patience, a lot of self compassion, self awareness. It's very important that you focus on you, right? On your growth, on your progress, and on your career, on your goals, on your path to achieve your goals, instead of comparing yourself to others. Anna Stashkina, she was here. She's still until today the most listened episode here in the RK Coach podcast, and she said it. I do not waste time looking at other people's social media. I don't scroll on social media. I go there, I post, I interact with my community, and I leave. That's it. And she is so focused that she keep doing it, and she's right there, and she keeps thriving because she's working on herself. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I work on me. I'm so busy. And I always say this, my family knows it. I'm so busy creating my own path that I don't care what everybody else is doing. I care about my community. I care about supporting my community, growing Cake Friends Stay Creative, growing the Arcade Coach. I cared about this awareness phase that I'm in, that I'm trying to teach all of the cake artists out there that you need. It's good to have help. I'm not going to say you need, but it's good to have help. It's good to have support. It's important to have a coach, a mentor, somebody. If it's not me, it could be somebody else, but it's good to go out there and reach for help. Um, and I do this, I work on this 100% of my time. Well, not 100 because I have another job, but let's say 60% of my working time, I'm working on this because that's my focus. I don't look at what everybody else is doing. I learn from people who had succeed. That's a different thing. I don't copy what others are doing. I don't care what everybody else is doing, as long as you're happy doing it and you're thriving and you're succeeding. I'm happy for you, but I'm not comparing myself to others. I try to learn from people who have made it and who has results. I learn from people who has used the tools and have worked for them, and that's what I'm trying to do with you. I do not see what other people is doing. I don't have time. And this is the beauty of this. When you focus yourself so much in your path and in your goals and in your thoughts and in your inner growth, you just don't care. You forget that, there's no competition. The only competition is you with yourself every single day. You want to be better, you want to improve. And when you're so focused on that, believe me, all those imposter syndromes and all of those limiting, those imposters, all the imposter syndrome and all of those limiting beliefs are going to just start diminishing and diminishing, being quiet and quieter. And one day you're like, where are they? I don't listen to them anymore because they're not there anymore. Just like that. It's not overnight, it takes time, but like I always said, I'm here to help. There's so many success stories in this cake world. I can say that I have seen a very specific transformation in one of my coaches. And I'm not going to say names because she doesn't want me to reveal her here. But I mean, she's been working with me for half a year already. And the change that I've seen in her, how much she has overcome all of those doubts without even noticing. The last time we spoke, I said, did you notice how you talked about yourself and putting yourself out there in January? And whatever, and all of the things that you're doing right now, and you're not even doubting it. And she was like, what? Really? I didn't realize, because it was a process and we work it together. Um, Other of my coaches that I've worked with her also since January, and she has become so organized with her time and with her goals that life is just changing for her and creating new opportunities. And she's even teaching that to her kid, and she's even teaching that to her family. And it's working because we have worked together in that. But she didn't realize it until 6 months later that we sat down and said, oh, wow, yeah, this is now it's natural for me. So it's not overnight. It takes time. It's a process. I I can help you if you want me to help you. But most of all, help yourself. Have that conversation with yourself. See where you're at. What are those limiting beliefs? Face your fears and try to start changing them little by little. And I really hope that this can help you overcome any limitations that you may have, and it will make you put yourself out there, win all those awards, show yourself in all those magazines, be part of those collaborations, showing the lives in the Cake for Stay Creative, and be the best version of the cake artist that you are. I really hope so for you today. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. It's been quite long and I've been talking a lot today. But thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really enjoy giving you all of this because, like I always said, if I share something with you, it's because I have lived it and it has worked for me. And I leave you, my sweet, sweet friends, as I always leave you. First of all, work on those limiting beliefs. You are perfect the way you are. You can always be better, but right now, you're as perfect as you can be. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay creative. See you next time. My sweet, sweet friend, if you like this episode, if you love this podcast, I will kindly, kindly ask you to leave me a started review, whatever you're listening to this episode, that is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I think a couple of other ones. But in any of those, just leave me a review. Leave me a couple of stars or 5 stars if you like it. So people will find this episode, the algorithm would put it out there, and more of our K community will benefit from it. Share it with your friends. Download the episode and share them. Share them on your social media and tag me because I will answer you back. Of course, I will. And send me comments, send me your review, send me your feedback. Even if you don't agree with anything that I say, I would love to hear your opinion. You can find me in any of my social media accounts. I will be leaving the links here on this episode description. I'm on Facebook as The Art Cake Experience. I am on Instagram at Christina_The Art Cake Experience. Or you can even find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Art Cake Experience channel. So thank you so much for listening. And please leave me your review and leave me your comments and your feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say about any of this episode.